Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Cabinet Ministers here present, Honorable Secretary General, Honorable Coalition members present, Director of GRA and staff, senior officials present, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols respectfully observed. It is an honor and pride for me to stand here today to moderate this important session in the history of the Gambia. We have a saying that people should be respected by their words, and they will be held accountable by what they say. It was part of the Gambia's history when His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, he just had a thought and a wish, and Allah answered that wish and made it to fruition. He made a wish that if he was to be elected president, he will make sure that the National Assembly members who will be serving during his time will have access to vehicles to reach out to the people who voted for them. He made that promise, not knowing that it will be answered. Therefore, he kept that promise. I will quickly call upon the Honorable Minister of Fisheries, and as some of you are aware, he is responsible for National Assembly matters. Therefore, Honorable James F.P. Gomez, you're welcome to make a statement. Thank you.
To stand here on behalf of our President, President Adama Barrow, to hand over keys to this vehicle to the Honorable Speaker for the use of Parliament and her parliamentarians. Parliament has a very important role of oversight and legislation, and our President is well aware and committed to the fact that they must be facilitated to perform this role without any hindrance. As already said, there is no doubt this is history. In my short life in this country, I've never witnessed an occasion when parliamentarians were so empowered by giving them access to go back to their people. In fact, in the discussion, we used to lament that for parliamentarians to come to Parliament, they have to join public transport, and then they are not able to be punctual to get to Parliament on time.
In the making, in the sense that we have never witnessed an occasion since independence where the government, the executive, have taken the legislature on a very serious note as prescribed by the Constitution. History is in the making because we have a president who is sincere, who have the goodwill, the wishes of the Gambian people, and the mandate of the Gambian people to carry forward the new democratic dispensation. In so doing, the president wants to respect Section 112 of the Constitution, which talks about upholding the dignity and respect of the National Assembly, making sure that members of the National Assembly are giving their dues in accordance with law. What we have seen before, after independence, members of parliament were subjected to what we call parliamentary loans in the First Republic. It was never even enough to buy them a four-wheel drive car. The most they can get is a Renault 12 car. We've witnessed that. In the Second Republic, as members of parliament, which I served for many years, we were subject to what we call bill of sales, and indeed referred to the junk at the MSA to go and look for scrap. Gather the scrap. This is a serious thing I'm saying. It's not a joke. It's what I've lived. We were subjected to go to the MSA junk, going to every part of government. We even came here to look for vehicles that were abandoned by officials of this department. I fully remembered coming here. I saw a good vehicle Because I'm opposition, when I left, they gave it to an APRC member. And I always see that official, custom official, and I always remind him of that. That's what we were subjected to at the time as National Assembly members. We've seen where they approved $100 million supplementary appropriation in 2015 to buy vehicles for the executive, expensive vehicle, when our National Assembly members were begging for lift in the streets. We saw them being insulted when they are in public transport, being humiliated in the streets. And these are our lawmakers. We have a president who said, this will never happen to the National Assembly members of the Gambia as long as I am president. Yes, the government don't have the money. We didn't find it there. It was not there. It was looted, taken away. He was committed to this. From day one, he was committed to respect Section 112 of the Constitution and to make sure that National Assembly members become as dignified as they are in dispensing their responsibility to the nation. He used his goodwill. He used the overwhelming goodwill that the people have for this country, as the Honorable Minister and also the press officer to the office of the President have said, not to enrich himself, not to line up his pocket with money, but to make sure that he uses that to support the National Assembly member and all the government departments. And I think it's an era in the new dispensation in this country, an era that worth remembering. And I hope that as Gambians, we must appreciate the sincerity and the commitment of the president to the Gambian people. Yes, we have a free press. People are free to criticize and insult. But I can tell you that God never makes mistakes. He makes his judgment. He is supreme. We've been here, some of us, for 20 years. It was God who picked him out of all of us and said, this is the man who will take you out of the trouble that this country is going through. Therefore, he deserves the respect and the honor that God has given him, and that we, as Gambians, also have given him mandate to be here for the next 5 years. It is our responsibility. It is our responsibility not to abuse these God-given privileges. I want to ask you or request you to remember what happened in Somalia, what is happening in Yemen today, what is happening in Libya, in many other countries, where dictators were removed and their countries were reduced to statelessness. We must avoid that. People must accept that government comes and government goes. The Jawara regime has gone. The Jammeh regime has gone. We have a new government today under Adama Barrow. And we must be sincere and be honest to ourselves and support this regime. Notwithstanding all that, you have every right to air out your opinion and your view about the way we manage state affairs. We are ordinary human beings. We can make mistakes. But we must not abuse that right. We must not infringe on what God has given us today. What has gone has gone. Let's focus on a future. Let's focus on a new agenda that would make sure that the National Assembly members can do their job freely without fear of being expelled from their parties. And that's why, Madam Speaker, you can only deliver your duties responsibly when Section 91B is amended out of our Constitution. When our members can freely take us on board, challenge us as ministers, challenge us as government officials to make sure we do the right thing. We cannot condone corruption anymore. We cannot accept bribery anymore in this country. Some of our people are paid as small as $2,000. And they're working 24/7 to serve this country. And they have families. They have responsibilities. Therefore, as government officials, we cannot afford to abuse our offices. And I think it's the responsibility of the National Assembly to help the president to make sure that everybody on board is doing the right thing for the good of this country. And you can only do this when you are equipped with all the necessary paraphernalia for you to be able to achieve that. The office of the Speaker is underfunded. The National Assembly is underfunded. They are running under very serious crisis, which of course the Secretary General is present here. this message should be sent to the president, to the entire executive, that there is a need to focus our attention on the National Assembly to make sure that they get what they should get. These vehicles are not meant for the National Assembly member. It's meant for the office of the National Assembly member of that constituency. Let me make that clear. They cannot go to sell this vehicle. When you are a member for Banjul South, it's for the office of Banjul South. You use the car, use this vehicle for the purpose of your duties. Yes, nobody stop you from politicking as a politician with your vehicle. No one will talk about that. We stop government vehicles, but you cannot stop politicians from doing politics with their vehicle. But again, we must, as a central government, as the executive, look at the means of how they will effectively use this vehicle. But although they have constituency allowance, transport allowance, is that enough to give them the fuel that they need to run this vehicle? My answer is no. Is that enough to maintain the vehicle? I therefore urge the office of the Speaker to devise a system how this vehicle can be maintained and how we can effectively use them for the good of the Gambian people. Reminding them of their responsibility of Section 112B, that they are serving the Gambian people. These vehicles are not meant for them to serve their parties at the expense of the nation. Nobody stopped them going on, as I said. But then they must make sure that the Gambian people, who elect them, and as clearly specified in the Constitution, that they serve them accordingly. But I think the time has come for us to focus ourselves on the National Assembly to make sure we elevate it to the status as we have seen in other parts of West Africa. Madam Speaker, today you are witnessing an occasion where we are handing over 57 brand new vehicles from the effort of the President himself, having great regard for the National Assembly. And indeed, he did not segregate. When people talked about give it to the ruling party, he said, I'll give it to every National Assembly member. As far as I'm concerned, every member is a member and they are serving the nation. He insisted that every member must be given a vehicle. For him, he's not looking at anybody as an opposition or government. He believes every National Assembly member is there to serve the nation as he himself is there to serve the nation. And I think this has demonstrated his ultimate desire and wish to make sure that this country moves forward. And I have a warning. For those who think that they can destabilize this country, they can find a way of destabilizing this country, they must be fooling themselves. God have decided that Barrow is the president, who will remain president of this country. God has decided that. We ask everybody to join the political arena. Join any party of your wish. Be part of any election as you want. We will make it as democratically, as open as possible. But those who want to abuse the system will find themselves somewhere very uncomfortable at the end of the day. So we pray that the peace of this country, the stability of the Gambia, will continue and will remain as it is.
We cannot say more than thank you to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Adama Barrow, on behalf of the National Assembly itself, because these vehicles are meant for the use of the National Assembly and by extension to the individual members of the National Assembly for use for their oversight functions in their various constituencies. We say a very big thank you to His Excellency the President for making this facility available to the National Assembly members at no cost. The status of the National Assembly ought to be maintained. It used to be an embarrassment for me to see my National Assembly members standing by the roadside begging for lifts. At one point, I had to give them my utility car to take them. So this is a big relief, and it's much appreciated. And I'm sure all honorable members will be happy and are elated to be given these vehicles.
Kaira babe Gambia, Nema babe Gambia. dia babe Gambia Gambia ni kairaba Gambia ni nemaba Gambia ni diaba kairaba be Gambia nemaba be Gambia diaba be Gambia Gambia ni kairaba Gambia ni nemaba Gambia ni diaba alinga mutaje kairaba alinga mutaje nemaba alinga mutaje diaba dia lenyonte alinga mutaje diaba Gambia 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 musolu Gambia kebalu Gambia dindulu Gambia fonni kelu alinga mutaje kairaba alinga mutaje